Every summer, NBA fans start to get a little restless. Subreddits are loaded with ridiculous hot takes, and all the podcasts are answering random fan mail to pass the time. It's the time of year when everyone is so bored that we completely overreact to a summer training video. We see Ben Simmons shooting threes, and suddenly he's a favorite for MVP. We see Mitchell Robinson doing step-backs on random dudes, and suddenly the Knicks are contenders. We kind of know it's crazy to get all hyped up about this stuff, but there's zero NBA content, so we do it anyway. And when it comes to summer pickup ball videos, we can get especially carried away. Never forget Hoodie Mello. I get it. When you see a bunch of familiar faces playing hard, it's easy to start thinking that what you're witnessing is actually like 70% of NBA level play. But that's ridiculous, right? I'm not saying that because Darius Bazley looked great in a random one-on-one, he's up next. But if you watch carefully, some of these clips do reveal how certain players will perform come October. You just have to know what to look for. Take Pascal Siakam in the summer of 2018, for example. Spicy P was the 27th overall pick and didn't come into the league with a lot of expectations. In the 2017-2018 season, he averaged 7 points, 4.5 rebounds coming off the bench for Toronto. Very few people outside of Canada could have possibly predicted that he would break out the following year and average 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists on way better efficiency. Unless they were watching his pickup games the summer before. See, anyone who watched those runs saw Siakam's talent transform into something more. He improved his game in the pick and roll, he hit outside shots, and he used his dribble, crafty footwork, and physicality to routinely outwork his defender. This unseen athleticism allowed him to hold his own against more proven players like Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons, and Paul George, which must have been a serious confidence booster. The summer runs don't have to be meaningless. Another example, DeMar DeRozan. When DeMar was traded from the Raptors to the Spurs in July 2018, it seemed like his all-star days were behind him. With the Spurs, his offensive production dropped to 21 points per game, a major step back for a guy who averaged 27 just 2 years before. But if you paid attention, you knew DeMar was locked in. His shooting efficiency skyrocketed. His overall offensive and defensive rating rose to the best of his career. And while the Spurs throttled DeMar's points per game in return for team success, in the summertime, it was a different story. DeMar scored at will and showcased his ability to get buckets at all 3 levels, getting to the rim with ease, hitting threes, and of course, making the mid-range his bread and butter. He looked like the best player on the court at all times. Today, we know his skill set translated over to the 2021 season when he was traded to the Bulls. DeMar had an all-NBA caliber campaign, scoring 28 points along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. I'm showing you these 2 examples to really hammer home one point. While the summer runs can be meaningless and give false hope, they can also shed light on who's going to rise or fall in the NBA hierarchy next season. I've watched hours of summer basketball footage, and here are a few players I've picked up on. Paolo Banchero is a problem. Now, if you only saw the IG highlights, you would think Orlando screwed up with their number 1 pick. But I watched the entire video. Paolo is double-teamed or triple-teamed the entire game. His team is clearly less talented than Dejounte Murray's, and he is still able to get buckets and play hard. But the most impressive part was Paolo's demeanor. It's a hostile environment. He's being disrespected, taunted, and physically confronted. Yet, he doesn't back down or give in to the trash talk. He plays his game and competes hard. Paolo definitely earned my respect when I saw the full video. Now, in the runs where he wasn't double-teamed, Paolo showed us why he has the offensive talent to be all-NBA right out the gate. He's 6'10", 250 pounds. He sees the floor like a point guard and scores like a mix of LeBron and Carmelo. He's got a solid handle and touch around the hoop. He can shoot from deep, and he knows how to use his size when he needs to. Again, everyone saw Paolo's welcome to the NBA moment with Donovan Mitchell. But Paolo looked dominant as a 19-year-old playing against proven NBA veterans. If he doesn't win the Rookie of the Year award next year, I'll be shocked. James Harden lost his step. Good news, bad news for Philly fans. The good news is James Harden is in the gym and looking slimmer. The bad news is that he doesn't have that same explosive power that he had in Houston. 2022, he's much more vulnerable to get locked up against athletic defenders. He gets bumped off his drive line more easily, and he seems to struggle through finishing through contact now. See the difference between his 2018 highlights and this year. Personally, I think Harden should take a page from the LeBron playbook. You're getting older, so just extend your range. I know, easier said than done. But I saw James take just 6 threes and make 4 in 55 minutes of highlight footage. If he can hit 1 or 2 deep threes per game, I'm talking deep like logo Lillard threes, the fact that he slowed down won't matter. At that range, the defense won't be able to drop coverage and clog the lane. His pick and roll game will be unstoppable. This will allow Harden to save energy, extend his career, and be more effective with the Sixers. But even with Father Time taking its toll on Harden, it's still incredible how good of a point guard he really is. He probes the defense with his dribble, waits for an overreaction, and makes the right play 99% of the time. I just think he could break the mini mind games before they even start with an occasional deep three. Dejounte Murray and Trae Young are going to be a fun combo. If you haven't noticed already, Trae Young is really good at basketball. Last season, he averaged 28, 10, and 3. He looks just as good in this summer runs as we've seen before. Trey has unlimited range and basically just toys with his defenders. But how will Trey and Dejounte fit together? So far, so good. Dejounte can help score and add something to the defensive end. Remember, he was last season's steal champ. I was impressed by Dejounte's ability to hit deep threes in transition and basically get by any defender with his incredible speed and handle. But I hope he doesn't have an attitude problem. Beefing with Paolo, telling him to be humble, and then trying to embarrass a dude who's on the ground after being fouled. It's not a good look. This season in Atlanta, you can expect a lot of highlights, a lot of new 3-point celebrations, and definitely a playoff run. But how deep? I don't expect them to take down the Bucks, the Heat, or even the Sixers if both teams are healthy. Before we wrap up, I just want to reiterate, the summer runs aren't crystal balls. Players like Bobby Brown killed NBA stars in these runs. Believe me, he's a bucket. But Bobby didn't start more than 4 games his entire NBA career. Age, role, team system, position, they all play a part in whether these guys will ever see time in the NBA. Still, these summer runs definitely do let us see a small glimpse of the future. You just have to know what to look for. Honorable mention to guys like Patrick McCall, who I saw splashing threes. He's currently trying to earn his way back in the league after winning 3 championships in his first 3 years. Chimezie Metu, who's going to be a solid piece for the Sacramento Kings this year. He'll probably average just under a double-double. And Montrezl Harrell, who continues to outwork, outsmart, and score literally every time he gets an ISO. Also, Kevin Durant is still levels above everyone else. So what do you think? Who has impressed you this offseason? And who do you think will have a breakout year come October? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy these longer videos, hit the subscribe button and tick the notification bell. I have a ton of awesome content coming out, and I always tailor my videos for the Henry Hoops audience. So if you don't want to miss out, hit the subscribe button. Peace.